All right, let's get you to dream a little bit like we do every Thursday when we talk about the Travel Thursday segment. I'm joined by Kritika Goel, who's a travel vlogger and who has visited, I think, a place that I have wanted to visit for quite a while. When I asked her what she would like to speak about, she said she would like to speak about the place that she visited most recently. Kritika, tell us about the journey that you just made.
All right. Hi, Alex. Thank you for having me. So, yeah, I recently, a couple of weeks ago, visited
Hi.
Lakshadweep, and I am mind blown by how beautiful it was. I feel like it's one place that not a lot of Indians know what exactly it looks like. And because it's such a mystery of like how to even get there, how to plan a trip, it's not something that a lot of Indians have like visited. So I was extremely excited to have visited this place, and I'm in love with this, but I am in love with Lakshadweep.
You know, I should have said this at the start. Thank you so much for taking the time, and it's a pleasure having you on the show, Kritika. Tell us a little bit about what drew you to Lakshadweep, because I don't know how to get there, but it's certainly on my bucket list, and I think telling me how to get there is the first step. I think to actually going there.
Okay, so Lakshadweep, in fact, just opened up in October for tourism. So I was very excited and wanted to jump on the opportunity right away. So, for those of you who don't know, Lakshadweep is actually the smallest union territory in India, and it looks a lot like Maldives, but it's in India. So, the water is extremely blue. You've got white sand beaches, and it's just amazing for what because it is a bit difficult to get to Lakshadweep. You need to apply for permits and stuff. Let me tell you what the process is like. So Lakshadweep, it's typically accessed from Kochi. So you can either take a flight from Kochi to Agati in Lakshadweep, or you can take a cruise. There are a few government-run cruises which start and end at Kochi. So I did a trip to this island called Bangaram. So the way to get there is I took a flight from Kochi to Agati and then a boat ride from Agati to Bangaram. And like I mentioned, you need to arrange for permits to be able to travel to Lakshadweep because it is a restricted area. So the best way to honestly plan it, it is difficult to arrange for these permits yourself. So the best way to do it is through a travel agent. So I did my trip through a government authorized travel agency called Gold Travels, and they arranged all the permits and the accommodation and stuff for me.
Okay. How long does it take for you to? So, where are you traveling from? Are you in Bengaluru? If I'm not mistaken, you are, right? How long does it take you from Kochi?
Okay, so I'm actually based in Vellore right now near Chennai. And from Kochi, it's a very short flight. It's like it's an hour long, I think, the flight. And the view, it's a tiny plane. There's only one flight in a day that goes to Agati, and I think it doesn't fly on Sundays. So there's that just that one flight that you can catch. It's 1 hour long, and the views are spectacular from that flight. You see like amazing blue water and all these islands. So it's very beautiful.
I can only imagine. I would like to see that myself. Now, tell us about, besides getting there, um, what do you do when you first land? Is it a really tiny runway, first of all? Is that something that you experienced? And then, what are the first few things that you would do once you land in Lakshadweep?
Okay, so yeah, it is a very tiny runway. In fact, literally right by the runway is extremely blue water. So you get out of the airport. I think it's the smallest airport I have been to and probably the most picturesque airport. So everything there is government run by the sports authority. So basically, you get to the airport, someone will be there to pick you up, you get your luggage, go there, and then typically you have to board a boat to go to whichever island you want to. So like I mentioned, I went to Bangaram. So it was a 1 hour boat ride. So they drive you through Agati to like the boat port, and from there you board the boat. And yeah, it's a really beautiful boat ride to get to the island. And then the next 4 days I spent on the island itself.
Okay. Um, uh, Talk to us about some of the experiences that you had right off the bat. Um, uh, and maybe we'll break it up into a few things. But what are the key activities that you can do at Lakshadweep?
Okay, so one thing Lakshadweep is perfect for is water sports. So if you're a water sports enthusiast, there's a lot of things to do. I went kayaking, I went scuba diving, you can go snorkeling, there's canoeing, there are different types of water activities. And there's also glass bottom boats. So for people who don't want to get inside the water, you can also see the marine life. There's beautiful corals and amazing marine life over there. I also went for a turtle watching boat ride. So they take you to this island from where you can literally see turtles swimming around you on the boat, which was beautiful. And on the island itself, there is a lot to do. So you can just walk around the island. The beaches there are some of the prettiest beaches I've seen in India or anywhere for that matter. So the beaches are amazing. And also on Bangaram specifically, there's this sandbank, which is spectacular, perfect for like an amazing sunset view. So that's something you can do as well.
Okay, you know what, Kritika? I want to speak about this a little bit more, and in fact, I want to get into the finances involved, how costly it is, what the cuisine is like, and the people are like. But I will do it after this very short break. So do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show, and we are on Travel Thursday, which is a segment that we do every Thursday, and we take you to a new destination. Kritika Goel is speaking to us. Thank you so much, Kritika, for waiting by. We were speaking about Lakshadweep, and you were telling us about the natural beauty and the various activities that you did when you went there recently, but also talk to us about the financial aspects. How much do you need to set aside, and how many days should you ideally plan to spend in Lakshadweep?
Okay, so like I mentioned, there are two different ways in which you can travel to Lakshadweep. So, firstly, like what I did was an island stay package. So, you pick an island you want to go to and you spend 3 or 4 days there. That's usually enough to cover an island. And at the moment, I think only two islands are open, if I'm not wrong, Bangaram and Kavarati. But I've heard that next month onwards, more islands are opening up for like island stay. So basically, the budget for this, I was surprised by how economical it is. So per night for the accommodation, you pay basically 8,000 rupees. So that's for two people. So it's split by two. And that covers all three meals as well. So it's 8,000 per night for accommodation for two people, including meals. Then you also need to pay for the boat ride from Agati to Bangaram and Bangaram to Agati. So that is 6,000 rupees for a round trip. And apart from this, obviously your flight expenses are extra. So yeah, I think you can do like a 3 or 4 day trip for around 30,000 rupees for two people. This is the island stay package. And then the other package that usually people opt for is a cruise package, which starts and ends in Kochi. So that's usually, I think, a 4 day, 5 night, sorry, 4 night, 5 day package. And that covers the benefit of that is you can cover more islands. And these islands are a bit like far off and supposedly like very scenic. So I think you cover the islands of Kadmat, Kalpeni, and Minikoy. So that's if you want to cover more islands, I think the cruise is a better option. So within the cruise, I think there are again two categories. So the more premium one, the diamond class, is for 32,000 rupees, I think, and the more affordable one is the gold class, which is 23,000 per person. So in this category, there's no flight expenses except your flight to Kochi. So that way, this is a more affordable option, and you get to visit like more different islands as well.
You know, this is sounding better and better as we speak about it, Kritika, and I certainly need to speak to my folks and get something going. But having said that, what's the cuisine like? Because that really is the deal maker or breaker from my point of view. Is there a lot of seafood there?
Okay, so actually, I had visited literally the week the island opened up, so things were just starting. But usually the meals are buffet style, so you get and vegetarian. So I was only focusing on the vegetarian meals, but the food was amazing. It's very like authentic local cuisine, and they do have non-vegetarian options as well. So it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. There's rice, there's different types of curries, veggies, and a non-vegetarian dish and dessert as well. So it's like a good meal.
Okay, and what are the people like?
So the people I interacted with, I think Agati is one island where you can actually interact with a lot of people. I unfortunately didn't spend too much time there, but the locals I interacted with at the resort in Bakaram were super friendly, very helpful. I feel like hospitality, usually, I mean, there's obviously amazing hospitality everywhere you like go to, but this place was just on another level. So it was amazing and the people were very friendly.
Okay. Now, at the end of this conversation, Kritika, Lakshadweep has just been ratcheted up to the top 3 destinations that I would like to visit. Thank you so much for taking the time, as always. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to dreaming when I speak to you the next time.
Thank you so much for having me.